Peace family, it's Camps in the Oracle, one half of Remnants Gathering, and oh my goodness, I have been trying to upload this, get this information out, and it just keeps happening, interfering with me doing this recording. So I'm going to push through. This is my third attempt to do this recording, and I'm going to see, hopefully I can recapture everything that was coming through. Why is it so hard to be happy? Why is it so hard to feel good about yourself without feeling bad because you feel good about yourself? Why is it so hard to not be in a depressed space, in an angry, frustrated space consistently? Why does it seem like you're in the negative space more than you are in the positive space that you want to be in? I'm going to answer some of these questions for you. So for a lot of us, the negative, critical, inner self-talk that we have that causes us to doubt ourselves, to not believe in ourselves, that causes us to not even try, that causes us to be so fearful, we just get paralyzed and we stop moving through life. We created the Crypto to CHRYSTOS program, the 44-day reset, to bring you out of the grave, to bring you out of the crypt, and to accelerate you into Christ consciousness, into this vibrational state. And I've really been sitting with this because I beat myself up when I get in low vibrations, when I have a dark night of the soul month or week. Sometimes that shit go on for months. And I'd be so hard on myself. And I'm like, why am I feeling so bad? Like I'm studying, I'm doing everything that I can to be better, and I just can't shake this. Why does it seem like I'm always beating myself up? Why am I so critical? What is this voice inside of me that is always making me feel like I'm not good enough and I'm not worthy to have the things that my heart desires to manifest? Why do I have cognitive dissonance? Why do I have opposite emotions at the same time in my mind? And you feel just torn in half and pulled in many different directions. And when you're like that, manifesting accurately is going to be difficult, and you're going to manifest a lot of confusion because you're in a state of confusion. So what I realized was a lot of us were raised by people who believe that being righteous, being a holy person, means that you pay very close attention to what you're doing wrong, and that you don't wait too long to address it, that you immediately repent and you immediately get in right standing with God, right? A lot of us were taught this. A lot of us was raised by people who was taught this. This is generational for many people. So what happens is, the more that you practice doing that, you have trained your mind to zone in on, to identify and isolate what is wrong with you. Let that sit for a minute. So let's say you spent 5 years of your life being that way. Let's say that you spent 10 years of your life being that way. I think a lot of us here probably spent more than a decade being that way. If you're 30 years old, most likely you've spent at least 10 to 15 years being that way. So now that you have awakened, maybe it's 1 year, 2 years, maybe you've been woke for 5 years, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 years, 9 or 10 years. It is not enough time yet for you to undo the way that you trained yourself. So it has become a habit. So it's unconscious. You unconsciously look for what you're doing wrong. You unconsciously isolate and identify the things about you that are negative. And it is because of how a lot of us was raised, how they were raised. And most melanated people were raised with some type of religiosity around them in the programming. And so for a very long time, y'all, being able to identify my sins, my wrongdoings, and atoning for those, that was the most important thing about my life every single day. So now that I'm trying to focus on the positive aspects of myself and cultivating myself and nourishing myself it is difficult to do because I have exercised the muscle of paying attention to what is wrong. And not just what's wrong with me, but what's wrong with the people around me. Right? Because a lot of us were taught to identify the sins of others so that you don't associate with them, so that you don't become sinful. It was almost like it's contagious. It's like separate yourself. Be ye not unequally yoked. How can two walk together if they don't agree? Like all of that. And so we would watch for other people's negative aspects to avoid them so that we don't pick up their negative ways, thus becoming sinful, thus not being righteous, thus not being worthy of good things, not being worthy of blessings, not being worthy of heaven. If you're in a state of sin, or if you're dealing with people who are sexually immoral, if you're dealing with that, just think about all of the things in scripture, right? All of these things is listed that this should be a reason to X these people out of your existence. You know what I'm saying? Don't fool with these people. But the fact of the matter is, we're human. Everybody has something that they do that can be viewed as negative. So that programming within itself is deeply flawed. And if you are religious and that's working for you, and you love the Bible, and you want to keep it there, click off of this now, because this is not targeting the audience of those people. Do what's working for you. I'm speaking to the people who are going through a spiritual awakening and are beginning to see the flaws in all of the 3D matrix programming, all of the ways that we were taught to be in a 3D matrix, okay? Because I don't want to be offending anybody. You're only going to be offended if you stick around and it wasn't resonating with you, so it's on you from here, because I'm finna go deeper. So with that being said, you got that whole element right there. You're not going to be able to focus on what's positive about yourself and truly believe in yourself and truly trust yourself because of this. It's going to take some time. So however hard you went for identifying and isolating what you were doing wrong, you need to go that hard for identifying and isolating what you are doing positive. Okay? And if it took 15 years of you practicing focusing on the negative, and it's going to take some time for you to learn how to unconsciously be a positive person, because that's the ultimate goal, is to practice so much of being positive about how you feel about yourself that it becomes like second nature, that is involuntary. And it's just, you're living in a state of bliss, in a state of being satisfied with all of who you are and all of your life. It's going to take some time, but it don't matter how much time it takes, because it's worth it. That is literally heaven on earth, which is what we are here to create. One of the other main things, because of the way we have focused so much on the negative, when you start learning that you lack self-love and self-worth, and that you need to start giving this love and attention to yourself, when you start realizing that, and you start doing some of the practices that we have talked about for years on our YouTube channel about using mirror magic, and for those of you all who are couples, soul gazing with each other to identify and isolate the beautiful things that you see within each other, to identify and isolate the positive things that you see in yourself. And so you stand in the mirror and you repeat these things over and over again, so that your soul begins to retrieve the parts of you, the authentic parts of you that you suppressed because it was viewed as wrong or bad or evil or sinful or whatever it was. So you will hear this voice saying that you're being arrogant, that you're being narcissistic, that you're being selfish, that you're being vain. You're going to hear that voice, most likely. And when you do, just know that there's nothing wrong with that. You're sovereign, so you choose how you react to the voice. So it's not trying to, you're not going to just get rid of the voice. You're not going to get rid of the recording that's on loop in your mind, because you have practiced these practices for most of your life. And you probably were raised to identify what you were doing wrong from when you were a kid. Because you don't want God displeased with you. You don't want your parents displeased with you, especially in the Black community. Maybe Hispanic too, but we got our asses whooped a lot. Let's be real. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Under the guise of God, we got our asses whooped a lot. So focusing on the positive things, it's going to trigger you to feel like you're doing something wrong. Because we were taught that is selfish, is narcissistic, is vain, is sinful, and is arrogant. And I'm here to tell you it is none of those things. And that anything is not beneficial if it's not done properly or in moderation. So you need to build yourself up, because everything in world and society and all indoctrination and social conditioning and programming makes you focus on what it is that you lack. Even advertisement. This is how companies and retail stay in business, by causing us to focus on what we lack. Your skin is not good. Get this. You're too fat. Get this. You're this. So even that is geared towards causing us to focus on what we don't have, so we buy the products. So this is just the whole 3D matrix system that we live in. 1111, Ashe, gratitude. Just looked up and saw 1111. This is the experience that a lot of us have. So don't be surprised if you're in this program with us, and because we have 8 steps that you must complete to complete the program. And once you complete the program, you will receive a Super Heru badge, and that will be assigned to you on your handle. So whenever you interact with us on Spaces, which is what we're using, because it's more of a sacred space. It's a closed space. It's not regular social media. So you don't have to worry about people who believe something totally opposite of you being there, putting what they believe and what they see wrong with what you're doing in the mix. This is why we pay so much money to have our website and to have the capabilities that it has, because we want people awakening to have a sacred space, because we know a lot of y'all don't have people in your circle of influence around you who believe and feel as you now do. You are a new person. We are constantly dying and constantly being rebirthed as we're going through this awakening process, this journey. So if that is happening, that is normal. That's why we created this program, to purge this stuff and to replace it. And so one other thing, if you were in narcissistic relationships, you trained yourself to see what you were doing wrong. Maybe they cheated on you, and they made you feel like the reason they cheated on you was because something you was doing wrong, instead of being accountable, that they lacked self-control, or maybe they were incapable of being honest with you. And so y'all stayed together, but what it ended up doing for you was making you feel like it was something wrong with you, and I got to fix me. And so you trained yourself to pay attention to the negative things about yourself in the effort of fixing yourself, so that this person would stop hurting you, so it's so many different ways we have been trained to identify and isolate the negative. So I want to say, make sure that you're identifying and isolating the positive things about yourself, patting yourself on the back, affirming yourself constantly. It's not narcissistic. It's not. No, it's healthy is what it is. It is healthy to do this. What's toxic is beating yourself up constantly. You must become the adversarial energy to social conditioning and the indoctrination of the 3D matrix. You must. And you must be aggressive about it. Don't be passive about it. Like this is beast mode time. Like I'm not even gonna tolerate negative shit, negative talk. I'm not. And don't allow yourself to feel guilty and stay there. Again, choose how you respond. So if the frequency of guilt comes up, and the frequency of guilt is very, very low on the map of consciousness. Go back and look at Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness, and you can look at the different frequencies for each emotion. It is very, very low. And when you are in a vibration of guilt, anything that you manifest from that place is going to be toxic. And it's because there's a lesson in that. And until you learn that lesson, you will continue to repeat those things. So we put this program together to help you identify and isolate these things, and to help you. It's kind of like a virus searching program within your hard drive to see, like, what are these areas of the disk that needs to be defragged, and to call back these parts of your authentic self that was repressed because of social conditioning, the way that you were raised, and indoctrination. For black men in school, young black boys walked on eggshells to not get in trouble, because a lot of times they had teachers that felt like black boys were the menace to society. Let's be real. So that trained you to focus on what you were doing wrong, to avoid doing anything wrong, so you didn't get in trouble, because you knew if you got in trouble, the punishment was going to be way worse than the white kid that got in trouble, or the Indian kid, or the Asian kid that got in trouble. This is just the reality of things. And then you leave school and go out into the world, and now the police become the reason for you to be this way. So everything around us has taught us to focus on the negative, focus on everybody else's negativity, focus on your own negativity. And what are you going to get? A law of attraction is going to give you more negative, because wherever attention goes, that's where the energy is going to flow. That's the investment that you're making. So the Crypto to Christos 4-to-4-day reset are many different exercises that you can do that will help you to be able to truly reach a higher level of self-mastery. And it's not one of them bullshit programs that you do and then no change happens, because this is going to go deep into your subconscious mind. We're going to go into the secret compartments where this shit is just locked up in there, so that you can begin clearing out these compartments and then putting in place something that is healthy and beneficial, and it's going to support your aspirations and dreams and not work against you. So again, the 3D matrix has caused us to have cognitive dissonance. And as long as you have two opposite vibrations going on at the same time in your mind, yes, you're going to manifest more confusion, and you're not going to know how to be an intentional creator, where what's coming into your life is of your own creation from your heart space, and it's healthy. And I can't tell you how much searching we've done to find ways of cultivating our higher selves so that we can integrate, so that we're no longer being judgmental towards our lower selves, our ego, our wounded inner child. That's not beneficial either. It's all about love and embracing every part of you. So if this message spoke to you or inspired you, go to our website, remnantsgathering.com. Go to the blog section, read about the program, and see how it speaks to you. If you've been searching for something to get you out of a stuck place, because in the awakening process, we all get to a place where we hit this plateau. And it's just like, okay, I've reached this level, but I've been on this level for a long time now. And you don't know how to get to the next level. That's why we created this. So read the blog, see how you feel about it. And again, we're going to be uploading things throughout the weeks that we're doing this, throughout the 4-to-4 days we're doing this. We will, if we need to extend this program beyond that to give more people time to participate, we will do that as well. You're able to interact with us on Spaces. So download the app. It's on Android and Apple. And this is a way we can interact with each other in real time. It works just like social media, except it's not open to the public. It's only open to people who are in the program. So you have a sacred space to speak how you really feel. Maybe you're going through some shit as you're going through your transformation, and the people around you is not really feeling this new you that you're becoming, and you just need somebody to vent, that's going to understand where you're coming from. This space is for all of that. Y'all don't have to hold back. And somebody comments and it's like, I wish we had a space where we could just interact with each other, because we don't have people in our real life that we can really talk to about a lot of this stuff. Well, we have that space. It's called Spaces. So download the app. if you join the program, okay, the program is on sale right now. If you join the program, you're going to be added to the group, and you're going to be able to interact with like-minded people, and you do not have to be concerned about anybody judging you, making you feel bad about your journey and your decisions, bashing you. There is full support there. We do not shame each other. We will not allow it in our community because it is enough of that in the world. Okay. So yeah, if it's resonated, I hope to see you on the other side. So many surprises throughout this 44 days. If anybody has done a webinar, a lecture, online program, anything with us, they can attest to, we go all the way in and give 100%. So there'll be a lot of surprises along the way, a lot of free things, a lot of extra help and resources. So yeah, you're going to get way more than what you're paying, to be honest with you. And we're on, the only reason we're doing this is because we truly want people to level up. And so, you can't be half-assing it. You gotta, if you're committed to truly investing in yourself to transform, then you're gonna be willing to put your money where your mouth is, and you're gonna be devoted and committed to the change that is necessary. So, I appreciate y'all for sitting through my rambling, but it's beautiful rambles because it's necessary. And I appreciate myself for not giving up, because this message was very hard to deliver. It's just so much, I guess, whatever. It's forces that's adversarial to what we teach over here, but that's all good because, I'm an alchemist, so I'm going to transmute that shit and make it work. And yes, it's beast mode time. Go get it. Go get it. Become the person that you want to be. Real talk, it's time investing in yourself. Man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace.